Hey guys, welcome back. Fast Monty's Garage. Today we're going to troubleshoot an exhaust leak. If you're new here, check it out. We test drove the GTO last episode with a brand new engine build and a brand new Tremec installed, which is a risk. I've tested two subsystems at once. Transmission works great, but I'm pretty sure I have an exhaust leak. And check that video out so you can see why. But what we're going to do today is troubleshoot it. So there are two ways to find an exhaust leak. One is recommended, one is not. So first method is to have your engine running and feel for your leaky gas wherever it is. Under the car, in the manifold. Not recommended. Don't do that. So option number two, we are going to positively charge the exhaust system with your choice of air filling method. I'm going to use my shop vac that I can convert to a blower. You can use a leaf blower. You can use your air compressor if you have the right attachment to put in your exhaust pipe. After we charge it, we're going to use some soapy water. That's an 80-20 mix, say 20% soap, 80% water. Spray it on there, see if it bubbles, and we found our leak. And then we'll go about tackling the leaks. Depends on what kind of leak and where it is, determines on how we're going to fix it. So it should be very easy to find the leaks, and that's what we're going to do today. So if you haven't, subscribe and follow along, and we'll have some fun. Be right back. All right, guys, so here's what we got. So I have my hose hooked up to the exhaust side of the vacuum. Make sure you blow it out before you attach it. And then I put it into the exhaust pipe, right? And if you're running dual exhaust, you most likely have an X pipe. And when you turn on your blower, you're gonna have to cover this up. So we have our magic condom again. All right, so here we go. I'm sure, Ryan, you're probably thinking, I never knew there were so many uses for a condom. So I'm just going to put this on, just like that, and I'm going to tape it so it doesn't blow off. All right, let's test it. Hi. All right, so we're good there. Now we're going to go underneath the car because the car's already up. And I'm not worried about any leaks near the muffler, frankly. I'm worried about leaks that are near the headers and where they connect to the exhaust and right before the X pipe. Because that's where you can actually get some suction of air back in to the manifold, which creates the backfiring issue. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we have two connections here on each side, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the vacuum on, and then I'll start spraying these down with our water soap solution. And by the way, I misspoke earlier. You only need less than 5% soap, dish soap, the rest water. Okay, so sorry guys, I didn't mean to say 80-20. I just love that term. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and we'll see what happens. And my O2 sensor plug. Alright guys, I took this pipe out. You can see where the exhaust was leaking pretty dramatically around this whole area coming out, right where this clamp was. So right where the clamp was, it was coming out, and I think it's because I had this tightened too much. Because if you tighten this too much, you're actually going to start deforming the pipe you're on. So I think that's actually my fault. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to research some high temperature gasket material we can maybe put in there. And frankly, I was reviewing the video, all 4 clamps were leaking, but this one was the most dramatic. All right guys, that was kind of crazy. I could actually feel air blowing out of the driver's side connector to the exhaust. I could totally feel it, like blowing in my face. I could totally dry my hair. So that's probably the leak. Now I'm also going to tighten the header bolts one more time just to make sure they're all torqued down, because on the interior sides I noticed the Remflex gasket was oozing out, which I think it's supposed to do, but on the outboard sides it didn't look like it was compressed. So I don't know if that's by design or not, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. So I'm going to do some research on what to use for those leaks. It's probably going to be some kind of exhaust sealer goop that we can put in there and then put the clamps back on. So when I come back, which is like in half a second, I should have a solution. Be right back. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, look at all the products we have to choose from, and I'm sure there's more on the market. You guys know how much I love UTV Ultra Black. I use this on the engine all over the place, gaskets and everything. And this is good up to 500 degrees, which I didn't realize that the temperature range was so high. You might be able to get away with this, but I'm not going to use that. And I found this one, which clearly says muffler and tailpipe sealer. And this is good up to 2000 degrees. But after I talked to Permatex, they said that this is permanent. And I don't think we need permanent because I have to take those pipes out. I'm sure I'm going to have to take those pipes out to change the clutch or something, so I'm not going to use that one. Then I got this one, Ultra Copper. It even has picture of headers on there, and it's up to 700 degrees. So that could work. And then I came across this one. This is actually their newest. It's up to 750. Man, they make it so easy to make a decision, don't they? I'm going to go with this one. Why not? It's the newest. And it's the highest temperature rating. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the where we're going to throw this on and read the directions a few times. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, here's the other dead giveaway. We're on the right track. So when you buy these brand new, I just remembered they come coated with some black stuff that melts and then seals at the same time. That's this stuff here. It's really nasty. Like it gets on your fingers, and you got to get some some solvent to take it off. But anyway, so that's, I think we're on the right direction. So on the slip fits, on all of them, I'm going to put them in, and then I'm going to put the sealer around on the outside, and even in the slots. There's 4 slots, one every 90 degrees. So I'll show you that when I do it. So it looks pretty simple. We just put a 1/4 inch bead on here, or the mating part, and then put them together. And you don't have to tighten them for an hour. So you want to get them finger tight, and then wait an hour, and then torque them down. So that should be pretty simple. I'll see you guys under the... Oh, and I also cleaned this out, as you can tell, some Scotch-Brite. And we'll get some good adherence. I'll also take this plug out and just put a little bit on this top piece, because this was also leaking in the video. So I'll see you guys under the car. Alright team, my plan is, if you can see, I backed off this exhaust pipe so we have a gap. I'm going to put a bead, probably 3/16 inch diameter bead, all the way around. And then I'm going to move the pipe onto it like that. And then add more, or spread it out with my infamous cock smoother tool, which is your finger. And then I'll put the clamp over it, finger tight the clamp, and then wait about 45 minutes, and then torque it down to about 22 pound-feet. I'm pretty sure I tightened it way too much because I used the impact wrench, so I'm just going to do 22 pound-feet, and that'll be good for this clamp. And then I'll move to the band clamp behind, and I'll get to that one after I finish this. Here we go. Alright guys, so that's finger tight and as centered as I could get, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll do the band clamps. Alright guys, for the band clamps, I'm just going to fill these slots in. So it's a slip fit. I'm going to fill the slots and then just cover the whole seam around the hole outside. And then we can put our band clamp over it, and again, finger tight. Alright guys, same test as before. I waited 48 hours. I'm going to go ahead and spray it down. Remember, we had a leak over here, and we had a major leak over here, which I cannot feel right now. Alright, good to go. I don't see any bubbles. Alright guys, test drive number 2 after our exhaust fix. Alright guys, engine's fully warm. Let's see what we do in a couple gears here. Oop, wrong gear. Hey guys, we're back. Oh man, the test drive went so much better. I took it up to 4,000 RPM. I'll see if I got it on video or not, but there's still a little bit of backfiring, but it's that awesome gurgling, blah, 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 blah. So this sounds awesome. During this trip, I went to run an errand, and I couldn't start the car. No sir, it took me about 5 minutes. I thought it was the battery, and now I'm thinking about it. I have one of those older starters, so the big ass starter, and now that I think about it, I probably have a heat soak problem. So next video, we're gonna tackle that. So thanks for hanging out. Subscribe if you haven't, and you guys know the drill. Build them fast, drive them faster. See ya.